First of all, let me ask you just a general 30,000-foot level question. What is pre-stagnation flushing and what's wrong with it?
Pre-stagnation flushing is actually kind of a remedial practice that's used to lower lead in schools. And to do that the night before you sample actually artificially makes lead look lower when you sample than when children drink the water. So for that reason, it's really not recommended, especially if you're trying to find lead in water problems.
The Nashville school system points to the EPA protocols for testing for lead in school drinking water, and the protocols say the water should not be stagnant for any longer than 18 hours. And so they justify the flushing based on those protocols. What's the response to that?
Well, right now the system is all voluntary, and so unfortunately some schools misinterpreted that protocol and in the same way, and when they sampled they didn't find lead, and when they went and sampled it without extensive exhaustive pre-flushing the night before sampling, they found high lead. In some cases, 7 times the number of taps were identified as hazards under the normal protocol than if you use pre-stagnation flushing. So if your goal is to find the lead in water, you don't want to do this exhaustive pre-stagnation flushing. It hides the problem.
And I think your point is that does not reflect the real world conditions under which children drink water.
Right. It creates an artificial condition which makes the lead look lower when you sample it, when it could be high when your kids are drinking it.
So what's the motivation for doing pre-stagnation flushing then?
Well, sometimes people are confused. They think they're doing the right thing. We've seen other cases where they're trying to make it look as good as they can, but still conceivably be within the letter of the recommendations, but it's just a bad idea.
The school system in this case posted a video from the project manager for the testing company saying, that they are using best practices, and he used a curious phrase. He said that it's designed to, quote, inject a little clean water into the system. What's your response to that?
Well, if they were injecting that clean water into the system every time, nights before kids drank the water, I'd say it's fine. What you want to do is reflect the water the kids actually drink, and in no way, shape, or form can this be considered a best practice. That's just flat out wrong.
So in this case, we have been told that maintenance workers have gone out the day or the night before the samples are collected. They flushed at least 2 hours, we've been told. In some cases, we have heard anecdotally that they are letting the water run all night long. Right. So given that practice, what should we make of the test results that the school system has published?
Well, you got to applaud people for doing the testing, but frankly, those results need to be thrown right in the garbage, and they need to start over again using more realistic flushing. When New York City did the same thing, they went back and tested using normal protocols, and like I said, they found 7 times more hazardous taps than they did when they used the pre-stagnation flushing approach. So you're missing 80–90% of the problems when you take this approach.
And in this case, the school system has spent tens of thousands of dollars for testing starting in June of 2016. Did those test results have any validity at all?
Well, it's better than nothing, but it's, again, I would just throw those results, in the garbage and start over again.
What do you think they'll find once they do it without this flushing process?
Oh, without question, they're going to find higher lead. They're going to find more taps. Many taps are being classified as safe presently that will be detected as hazards when you use the normal protocol.
And that was the experience with the New York City system as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, using the pre-stagnation flushing, they missed 90% of the hazardous taps.